Hi friends, it's Ashley and welcome back to the channel and to another reading vlog. And so today we're going to be reading a book that I'm really excited for, and it's one of my most anticipated books of the year. It's in my top 5, if not like my most anticipated book of the year, and it's the YA fantasy The Sun and The Starmaker by Rachel Griffin. And so I have read Rachel Griffin's other books before, and those are The Nature of Witches, which I loved, Wild is a Witch, which I really enjoyed, and Bring Me Your Midnight, which I also loved. And all three of these are witchy books. And while this new one isn't about witches, it does have magic in it, and it just sounds like it's going to be amazing. And so this one features a town that is nestled deep in the snowy mountains. And this town is beyond the reach of the sun, and so they need the mysterious Star Maker to bring sunlight into their village. Our main female character in this, Aurora, grew up on tales of the Star Maker, but she never imagined that she would meet him until on the day of her wedding, she does. And he ends up sensing that she has magic in her, and so he whisks her away to his castle to study under him. And it turns out that her magic is tied to the survival of the village. And so this just sounds like it's going to be amazing. So without further ado, I'm just gonna go hop right into this. I just read the prologue and it was so beautiful, it was so moving, and it almost made me cry. So the prologue tells the story of the Sun and the Starmaker and how they met and fell in love. And it is so fairy tale-like and whimsical. I loved it. It's our main female character, Aurora, her mother, who is telling Aurora the story as a bedtime story. And Aurora is just like captivated by this story, and I'm like, yep, I feel the same way, girl. So I am here with an update because I've made it to page 104, chapter 10, and so far I'm really enjoying this. It has definitely been living up to my expectations so far, and it's the kind of story that I like best, in which it feels very fairy tale-like and very whimsical, and the heart of it just feels very warm. And the story very much has close-knit small village vibes to it. And so this story takes place in the small mountain town of Reverie, which just the name of this town just sounds so magical, and I love that it's called Reverie. And so also on this mountain, it's mentioned that there is no way on or off this mountain, and so that the people that live there pretty much just live there for life. And the best place to live on this mountain are places that get sun from the Star Maker. And unfortunately, Aurora's family, their land doesn't get any sunlight from the sun. It's all in shadows. But Aurora has devised a system of mirrors that she uses to get sunlight so that her family is able to grow some crops and help provide for themselves, which I think is really clever of her. But even though they have this workaround, they still have to worry about this mysterious illness called the frost, which since they live in the dark, they're more susceptible to it. And unfortunately, at the beginning of the story, her sister has come down with the frost, and Aurora is worried about her because she just doesn't seem to be getting any better. And that's another thing that I'm really liking about the story, is the strong bonds between Aurora and her family. And you just see, like, in the beginning of this book, how much they really care for each other and how they'll do anything for each other. And I love just like reading about family bonds like that. It just like makes my heart feel so happy and warm. And so Aurora, at the beginning of this book, she is about to marry, and her marriage will also like help ensure her family's well-being, because when couples marry, a glare line forms between the homes where the two couples came from. And this glare line is a gift from the sun that helps magnify the magic that's in the land. And I just think that's a cool little detail in the world building. And speaking of the world building, I love like the whole myth of the Sun and the Starmaker and how this whole town is like built around it. And I love just like how the myth is like beautiful yet also tragic at the same time. And I also just can't wait to see how the myth plays into the story and relationship between Aurora and the Starmaker, which their relationship does not get off to a good start because essentially they meet in the woods on the day of Aurora's wedding, and he realizes that there is magic in her veins and that she is actually his successor. And so he pretty much demands that she has to go live with him because she is going to be the next Starmaker, and if she doesn't use her magic, it will kill her. And of course, she's not happy about this because she has her life planned out. She's going to get married. She has plans for her life. And now her plans are all being upended by this stranger. And so because of this, she kind of resents him in the beginning and kind of views him as a villain because he is ripping her away from her family and all that she knows. And so she's not really that nice to him in the beginning, which is completely understandable because he is ripping her away from everything that she knows. But I do like that even though she's like in this situation and this thing is happening to her, she still uses it to like the best of her advantage. And she uses it to essentially assure that her sister gets healed. And in general, I really like Aurora's character. She's the type of female character that I kind of like the most, in which she has some soft edges to her, but she's also still very strong-willed and very capable. And you see like these many sides of her in the very beginning of the story. You see her soft edges in her interactions with her family, but then you also see like her cunning and smarts when you find out about how she's developed the mirror system. And you also see in her interactions with the Starmaker that she is also willing to fight tooth and nail for her family. And so I feel like so far she just feels like a very well-rounded character. And then the Starmaker, so far we've gotten like little glimpses of him, but I feel like he's still very much shrouded in mystery at this point. And so that's one of the things I'm looking forward to, is learning more about him. And right now he does come across as like kind of cold and distant to Aurora, but also it seems like he's kind of acting like that because she is kind of not being very nice to him right now. And so he's just kind of giving it back to her, because you do see when he interacts with some other people that he's more like gentle with those people in his words and his manners. And also on page 69, we get the perspective of the Starmaker. We get like a little bit over a page of his perspective, which is the first and only time so far where we've read from his perspective. Most of this book so far has been in third person from Aurora's point of view, but in his perspective, he says he had been awaiting his successor for many years and had long since decided that it would be kindest to pass their days together in as much silence as possible. And so that also is showing that he has a softer side, a kinder side to him that Aurora just hasn't seen yet. And then one last thing I have to mention is that there has been an appearance of an animal companion. So when Aurora gets to the castle of the Starmaker, she meets this white rabbit named Constance. And according to the Starmaker, he says that Constance came with the castle, which I have so many questions about that statement. Like, what does that mean? Is this rabbit more than just a rabbit? I need to know. So that's another thing I want to learn more about. So those are all my thoughts so far. I am really excited to read more and learn more and see what happens next in the story, and just to see the relationship between Aurora and the Starmaker unfold. But before I read any more today, I am going to go do some baking because I'm in the process of making a banana crepe cake and I need to go make the crepes. Hi, so it's many hours later and I'm here with another update because I've made it to page 302, chapter 27. And so I only have like a little over 100 pages left, and I wasn't planning to read this much today, but the last 100 pages of this book that I just read just like flew by, like whoosh, and before I knew it was on page 300. And so here we are. The romance is very much romancing in those last 100 pages, and I think that's why I flew through it so fast. And at the point in the romance where you're getting all the angst and the yearning between Aurora and the Starmaker, and that's my favorite part of romances, just like the angst and the yearning and the cute stolen moments between the couple. I'd say that for like the first 200 pages of this book, Aurora and the Starmaker are in that phase where they don't really like each other yet, and they're always like kind of poking at each other and bickering with each other over silly little things and challenging each other. But around page 200, that kind of changes and you see them start to realize like they have feelings for each other. But in the beginning, they're fighting those feelings for certain reasons and they're trying to like deny themselves. But now, like at the point where I'm in the book, they're like giving into those feelings, and I just love that. I am though like scared about how this is gonna end, like how the relationship is gonna play out. I'm so scared. I'm like, is this book gonna leave me like heartbroken? So I don't know how all that's gonna resolve in the end, so that's a little nerve-wracking. But also at the same time, I really want to know what's gonna happen, even if it might break my heart. And so it's like about 9 p.m. now, and I don't quite want to go to bed yet. And I don't really want to do anything else other than read this book. So I think I'm just going to continue reading, and I might finish tonight. I don't know. We'll see how fast I get tired, because I don't have to be up tomorrow morning at any certain time because I don't have work tomorrow. So I can stay up a little later tonight and finish this. He finally told her his name. The epilogue is like the perfect way to end this book. It's just perfect. Hi, so it's the next day, and as you saw in the previous clip, I did indeed finish this last night. And so I'm here to give my final thoughts and wrap up this video. So, as you can probably guess, this was a 5-star read for me, and this was 100% the type of YA fantasy that I've been craving recently. It was cozy, whimsical, fantastical, and warm-hearted at its core. It is character-driven, which is my preferred type of story, and I love seeing the journey of self-discovery that Aurora and the Starmaker go through and how they help each other find their true selves while also falling in love. I love the magical and whimsical feeling of the world and all the small little details that went into that, like the sentient handkerchief and the magic weather portrait that's in the castle. I also love the side character of Tilly. The concept of her character is just so unique. She definitely added to the whimsy of this book. And I also love the animal companions in here. I know earlier I mentioned the bunny, but there's also other animal companions in here too that are also adorable and precious. And I also love seeing their connection to the Starmaker and what that connection revealed about his personality. And this is a standalone, and everything does wrap up in the end, and I personally thought the ending was perfect. It ended exactly how I wanted, and I especially loved the epilogue. I really thought that it brought the story full circle. And so those are all my thoughts on The Sun and the Starmaker. Let me know down below if you read this, what you thought of it. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye!